counties so that we can read our barcodes. Thank you.
I think that one of the points we've discussed that we want to encourage counties to do is, because I'm concerned about the concerns of everyone here that spoke before. That's very important, and we take it to heart. I think this bill is sound policy, but I think that one of the things we intend to do in our training session is to encourage counties to do their own auditing so that there are more and more and more data. One, if there is a problem, we want to know about it. And two, to help people have confidence in the outcome.
Representative Richmond, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just trying to get this straight. Now, as I understand, what happens at the county level really is programming. That they're programming who's going to be on the ballots, who's going to be picked and chosen. And this is how I'm hoping I'm getting it straight here in my mind, because that's different than coding. Coding is when you get into the language that the computer speaks and what it recognizes. And what I'm hearing is that you've got checks and balances for both of those particular situations. Am I correct in that? I don't care who answers.
I'm going to answer yes to be called in question by either one of the experts, but I'm going to say yes, sir. That is exactly right.
Representative Gasaway, recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So my understanding, to follow up on Representative Richmond's question, is the check that you have in place to check not the programming of the races that are on the ballot, but the programming of how the votes are ultimately recorded. That's the code, or what I'm going to refer to as the code. And the way that that's checked, my understanding of it, is through the logic and accuracy test. But is there any way that we can know whether or not something's been executed to make the logic and accuracy test look correct, and then on the back end change the way votes are done?
Well, you're correct. Logic and accuracy test is half of that piece, and every single piece of equipment is LNA tested in every single election. The other half is the random sampling audits that we do by requirement of law and that the counties may do if they choose.
Follow up.
Recognized.
I guess my point is, if there was some type of malicious code, I'm not saying that this has happened. I just want to be clear. But if there could be malicious code that would allow the tabulation to pass the logic and accuracy test and then do something different after the fact, is there any way to test for that or to control for that?
Well, and that's the very concern that led to the post-election audit being put in place, because remember, we're looking at the piece of the ink written on the pay, or heat paper, but the words. And so if, say, the machine were programmed, I don't think it's the case, no evidence of it, but let's, for hypothetical purposes, say it was programming to count every 100 vote, flip it the other way, that would make the count, a hand count, and the machine count would obviously be different under those circumstances. And there's no way that wouldn't be detected by the audit if you reviewed the paper ballots.
One more follow-up.
You're recognized.
Do you audit primary elections?
No, but we intend to. There's a bill filed that I ensure to see is passed before the end of the session to expand it to all primary elections.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from committee members? Seeing none.